Now, come over here. I'm going to show you guys this. This is for the bank fishermen. Anything that you see sticking out of water, if you see overhanging trees, you target that. Okay, now we're on the shoreline. You can see right here, there's some branches sticking up out of the water. Matter of fact, I put those in there. You see this tree right here? You see that? Let me see if I can show you guys this. You see those trees sticking up out of the water, those tree limbs? Okay, let me show it to you over here. You see those? You see that overhanging tree right there? That's what you want to fish. You see that riprap? You see that, those big old granite rocks? You want to fish that. And you can see a drop off. You probably can't see it, but it's shallow. You see red clay, and you want to fish this. So what I would do if I'm fishing from the bank, guys, I would target that tree right at the end. Look at that. Boom. You see that? Slow that jig down. Slow that jig down. Slow that jig down. And you're going to be able to feel that thump because they're going to be very aggressive come spring. Okay? Now listen, let me tell you another secret. Don't just do one cast. Okay, he may have seen it go by the first time. Hit that spot again. Watch this. Boom, look at that cast. Guys, that's that Cam's Magic Stick. It's an ultralight. I got 6-pound test on here. I got a 1/32 jig head. I got whether it is a 1/16 or whether it's a 1/8. It is designed for crappie to throw those light jigs. If I got 15-pound test line on here, 20-pound, I can't make it that distance. If I got one of those big heavy rods or medium heavy, guys, it's not gonna make it. It's not gonna be able to throw that light jig 20 yards. It's not gonna make it. You gotta frail it. All I'm using is just my wrist, okay? Now remember what I mentioned to you. If in fact that you're not getting caught up, you're not crappie fishing. So listen, I'm gonna target the middle of that tree. Look at that. Boom. Crappie hide right underneath there. Slow that jig down, keep the tip of that pole up because you gotta remember that you're in the shallow. So you're probably, crappie are gonna be spawning anywhere from 12 inches all the way down to 3, 4, 5 feet. Okay, remember, the closer that you get towards that boat or bank fishing, as you start going into deep water, drop the tip of that pole. Okay, now I turn to this side of the lake and I do the same thing, fan cast right there. You see that bush right there? Boom. Take your time, slow that jig down. One of the worst things you can do, guys, if you've been bass fishing, is come out and crappie fish and you're fast reeling. With my gear ratio, guys, I purposely slowed my gear ratio down from 5:1 to 1. A bass rod and reel can be 5:5 to 1, 5:4 to 1, 5:6 to 1. That means for every revolutionary turn of that crank handle, this spool will spin 5.1 times. So I slowed it down. But if you have a bass pole, it can spin 6.7, it can spin 5.6. It gives you a faster retrieve. That's the other reason why you don't want to use a bass pole, because you're going to be retrieving way too fast. You got to remember what I just mentioned to you. Crappie are coming up from cold water. Think about it. In the wintertime, you don't want to do nothing but just relax. It's too cold to go outside. But come spring, when the weather starts to get warm, you're at every party. You're at every grocery store. You're everywhere, okay? That's because of the warm weather. You're riding with your windows down. It feels good. You're on the expressway. Some of you guys don't even have nowhere to go. You just get in the car and just go somewhere, all right? So listen, let me show you how accurate this pole is again. Right off the tip of that tree. Look at that. Boom. Guys, it's all in the cast, the presentation, okay? These are for my bank fishermen. So when you walk up to that body of water, automatically start assessing it. You see big rocks, you see trees overhanging, you see stumps, you see branches out of the water. That's what you're going to be targeting. And also docks. See those docks over there? Now, let's head on back over the boat, and I'm going to show you guys, for those that don't know what color to use. Now, this is for my new subscribers, my folks that are just coming on that haven't been watching me for a long time. If you don't know what to use, relax. I'm going to show you what to use, because you can also get a kit with all my popular ones in there. Sorry, Poppy. Come on. Let's go. Sit tight for a minute, guys. Thanks for joining me. Let me show you over here. Hold tight. My videos and you think they're informative, hit that thumbs up button, okay? You want to make sure that you support all of your YouTube subscribers. And also, if you don't want to miss any of my new episodes that'll be coming up for spring 2021, make sure you hit that subscribe button right below the video. And when you click that red button, a bell will come up. Make sure that bell is clicked to make sure that you get every single notification that I put out for spring 2021, because it's going to be hot. Okay? With the curly tail, I want to make sure that you guys can see me really good. Let me see if I can call you up. Okay. I'm going to be running either red, black, and chartreuse, curly tail or I'm going to be running the monkey milk and chartreuse. And listen, these are colors that you can only get here at Cam's Crappy Hole. Or I'm going to be running the blue, black, and chartreuse, or I'm going to be running that black and chartreuse with the hologram flake. Okay, if you want to get all of those colors, now here's the key. I have it in a curly tail kit, and also I have it in a hologram flake kit. So you have to decide whether you want the regular curly tail or whether you want the hologram tip. I'm saying the hologram flake. Also, I have the hologram flake in a stinger shad kit too. So we got 3 different kits all together. They come with, the stinger shad comes with 140 pieces. You get the hooks, the nasty bin, our world-renowned nasty bin hooks. You get 4 of my most popular hologram flake colors. It's a total of 140 pieces in this kit. And I also have it in the curly tail. I also have it with a combo. So if you want to get the rod and reel, and we call it Find the Water kit. All you got to do is just find the water, okay? So your pole is already pre-strung. All you got to do is tie on the jig and the hook, find the water, and you're ready to do business, okay? So we take all the guesswork out of it, guys. Listen, everything that you see here comes with free shipping. We have this in the emerald. This is my magic stick, and it's already pre-spooled. So all you got to do is go to camscrappyhole.com, guys, put it in your cart, click, check out, boom, you're gone. Free shipping. All right, so listen, I understand that times are hard out there. I get that. That's why we still offer you guys free shipping. And not to mention now, we're also offering payments. Okay, so if you see 1 or 2, 3 poles that you like through PayPal, it's called Pay in 4, you can make payments. Okay, so that'll take some of the stress off. You're able to get what you want immediately, and you can get on the water and start catching fish. So you can start eating. All you gotta do is go by Publix and pick up some hot sauce and pick up some potatoes, do some fries. As if we're out on the water. Okay, I'm doing this, guys, for spring 2021, and I realize this isn't going to be the most popular video, but again, you guys know me, and you know I stress on showing you guys how to catch crappie, not necessarily stressing on watching me catch crappie. I want you guys to get out there and take the family out there so they can watch you guys catch crappie. Okay, if you've been one of my subscribers, you've been following me for a while, you can see Poppy, she's in the water right now. If you've been following me for a while, you know this is how I fish, okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I can slide you back a little bit. Let me see if I can hop off the boat in the water, and I'm gonna show you what I'm using, okay? So you guys can see me. Okay, I'm using the emerald. Okay, because I realize what's going on out there, guys. I understand what's going on, what's happening. But I want to tell you guys this. If you're interested in a new outfit, if you're interested in a new crappie rod and reel, hooks, plastics, all you got to do is just go to camscrappyhole.com. I have this emerald in the emerald color, and it's the first one on the page. As soon as you open up the page, camscrappyhole.com, just scroll down. I have this for a little over 70 bucks, this whole outfit, okay? This is a carbon fiber handmade rod and reel, titanium guides on coated around the leads, okay? And guys, these are beautiful. They're very sensitive and they're very accurate. And I have the emerald in just $72, $73. So listen, I'm getting ready to show you why you want a crappie rod and reel for spring 2021. I'm gonna sit right here. You guys have followed me. You guys know how I get down, okay? Let me see if I can get you guys just right. Okay, so I'm in the boat, and I'm gonna show you a little bit later if you're bank fishing. So I'm pulling up, this is the bank, okay? And I see these trees leaning over the water, or I see trees or limbs sticking up out of the ground. With those big old reels that you guys be fishing with, some of you guys, I mean, they go out and catch catfish. You can't finesse crappie. Crappie is a finesse type game. Okay, it's stealth. You have to bring your A game. That's why people get addicted to catching crappie. Okay, so this is what I did. I got a bobber on here so you guys can see the accuracy of my throw. Okay, so when I pull up, anything that's sticking out of the water for spring, because they're going to be white hot, they're going to want to eat everything that they see. So you want to make sure that you got everything in play. Look at that. My bucket fell over. Listen, when you're in spring, make sure if you see a limb or a tree leaning in the water off the edge, you want to fish it. Okay, and you want to fish it in multitude of angles. And you guys have seen how when I'm on my videos, you're sitting right over my left shoulder. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to be targeting. Okay? Our poles are very sensitive and very accurate. Now, the number one rule I want you guys to know when you're fishing with our nasty bent hooks and our soft exotic plastics, when you have this extra sensitive and accurate rod and reel, make sure you slow that retrieval down, because the crappie are going to be coming from cold water. Some of them probably won't even have color to them yet, so they're going to be still a little bit lethargic, okay? So let's say if I see that back tree over there, that limb sticking out. With my poles, boom, look at that. Okay, you can drag it right over that limb, okay, because it's that accurate. You don't have to flail it. You don't have to use your shoulders to throw, okay? All you do, see if I can get that bad boy off of there. All you do is use the flick of a wrist. That's all you do. And look, Poppy's all in the water. Look at her, she's all in the water, okay? So, you make sure you fish both sides of those limbs, because they may be posted up on the left or the right. So watch me hit the right side. Boom, just like that, okay? That's the accuracy of my titanium rods, okay? And I want to say this to you as well. Look at that, she's all in the water. I caught a poppy, okay? Guys, we hand make these, and everything in our store comes with free shipping. And I want to make sure that you guys go ahead and get your items now. Don't wait till it starts getting warm, because if you do, we're going to be sold out again. We are 25,000 subscribers now, okay? We don't merely have half that many rod and reels, okay? So I want to make sure that you guys, if you're thinking about getting you an outfit, listen, let me turn you guys around here. Let me see if I can show you guys this. I want to say this to you. If you work hard, you make sure that you play hard, okay? Some of you guys make sure you pay bills, you do everything, but dude, listen, treat yourself. Make sure that you treat yourself. That's very important, because if you don't do it, nobody else will. All right, let me get you right back over there again. All right, so let's say we're trying to get to that back tree that's sticking up, the shrub that's sticking up out of the water, okay? Accuracy, boom, okay? And slow that retrieval down. And listen, keep that rod tip up in the air, okay? The closer you get to the boat, you start dropping the tip of that rod. And I'm gonna tell you why to do that after I catch this big old poppy. Poppy, will you let it go? Listen, let me back you up. I want to tell you guys this. The reason, let me pull you down. The reason why when you cast and you keep that rod tip up in the air, because it's shallow, and you want it not to drag the bottom, but the closer that you get towards the boat, you drop that rod tip, because you want that jig to dive a little bit more. Okay, that's very important that I tell you guys that. And another tip that I want to tell you, if this is for the boat fishermen, okay? If you're on a boat, I don't care if you got your neighbor's boat, your little John boat, you're using a stick to paddle out there, just as long as you get out there. The fish don't care what you get out there on. I don't care if you use a floating 2x4, as long as you get out there, okay? Make sure you don't post too close up towards the bank, okay? You don't want to be too close. You want to be about 15 to 18 yards away from the bank, because the females are going to be staged up in the secondary point. They're not going to be closer, which is where the males are. They're going to be out a little bit further. So you may be sitting on top of the big hubcaps or the big gulls, and you don't even know it. That's why a lot of times when you're retrieving, you get a hit right at the boat, because you're sitting right on top of them. These are just little tips, guys, come spring 2021 that I want you guys to have, because I want you guys to make sure that you go out there and catch your fair share and set your table with these unbelievable tasting fish, okay? Now, let's get back out there again. I want to show you guys this. Let me see if I can back you up. There we go. Let me pull you up just a little bit. There you go. I think you guys can see from right there. Make sure that you hit that tree limb or that stump or that riprap, whatever it is, make sure you hit it from all different angles, okay? So let's say you hit the one in the back, then you turn here. Let me see if I can turn you, just like we're on the boat. You guys have seen me turn a little bit, okay? You try this angle, boom. You make sure you hit this one, okay? Slow it down, slow that retrieval down, and the closer you get to the boat, drop that rod tip. And a lot of times you'll get a hit right at the boat, okay? So you got this far side over here to the left. Let's see if I can turn you just a little bit. There you go. You zip that jig right down there, bow. okay? You zip it right down there. And again, I only use 6-pound tests because the further heavier line that you use, the less casting distance you're going to get, okay? So you're only throwing between a 32nd ounce, a 1/16 or 1/8, all right? So you slow retrieve that jig back. And remember, there goes my fish again. Her name is Poppy. I want you guys to remember this. This rod is an extension of your hand. It lets you know exactly what's going on with that jig. You're feeling, even though I may be talking to you, I can still feel a thump from that rod. Okay? That's very, very, very important. And one other thing I want to show you guys, matter of fact, let me get off the boat into the water. I want to show you guys this on my rods. When you use spinning rods, if you notice the guides, let me show you the guides. The line stays in constant contact with those guides. On spinning rod and reels, that's important because when that line gets jerks, it develops. When you feel that thump on the end of that line, it goes through this guide into that rod and into your hand. That line constantly stays in contact with that guide. And that guide is an extension of that titanium rod. Okay? I want to make sure, let me go back over that again because I want to make sure that you guys get that. You can see that that line stays in constant contact with that guide. Okay, it stays in constant contact with that guide. That means when that thump is on the end of the line, it translates through that guide into that titanium rod and into your hand. That lets you know that you got a thump. I thank you guys so much for the 25,000 subscribers. And you guys know me. My name is Cam. This is the Crappie Hole. And until next time, keep those hooks wet, keep that line tight, and we'll see you on the next turn.